Look, mate, I'll be honest, I really don't want to be out here. It's 5 in the morning, fucking freezing, and the last thing I want to be doing is speaking when everything inside of me is feeling this friction. But I wanted to deliver a message to you because I had an idea, and I'm sick of having ideas and then waiting, saying I'll do it later, and then when later comes, I've lost the internal state that I was in when I had the idea. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about, is that internal state is everything. That's the only thing we're actually experiencing on a daily basis, right? We can have whatever external circumstances happen that we can imagine. You know, we can build the life of our dreams on the outside, but if we don't have this internal state of freedom, this internal, I wouldn't say peace, I would say violent clarity, this aggressive feeling of competitive fire that we need as ambitious young men, coupled with a state of stillness and clarity. It's a really weird combination, but it is elite, and it is one I have not experienced nearly enough. Because if I did, let me say, I'd be a lot further ahead by now. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, it doesn't matter what you try to do. It doesn't matter how much brute force you apply to your work, to whatever you're trying to accomplish. If it's not aligned with the right internal state, it will take so much effort and produce such little result. And it will just feel disgusting, bland, pointless, like trying to go in dry, if you know what I mean. There's just so much unnecessary friction for no yield. And I'm fucking sick of it, man. I'm sick of having this feeling where I try to pour out into my brothers. I try to become more valuable, and everything I've been trying to do lately, almost everything, apart from when I get into a state like this where I let go of any outcome, I stop caring about being polished and I just say it from the heart. Like, it's just been torture trying to create content lately most of the time because my internal state hasn't been fully aligned. I've been trying to speak from a position of someone who I think should be listened to and who I want to perceive you to, or how I want to portray myself to you as who I think I should be rather than who I actually am right now. Because fuck, bro, who I am right now is valuable as fuck when I'm aligned and when I'm fully present in the moment, when I have no limiting beliefs, no negative self-talk, and I'm sure you are as well. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. When your internal state is aligned, you can pour out so much more value to the world. Because, bro, you have so much value locked away in your head. You've been on this journey of self-development now. I don't know for how long. I don't know how far you're into it. But if you're gonna watch this kind of content, then of course you're gonna have some level of above average in you, some level of exceptional, I could say. But it might be trapped underneath all the layers of bullshit, under all the noise, this monkey chattering in your mind from the negative self-talk that has come from the misaligned action you've taken for so long. Because while your internal state is everything, it affects how you show up, it affects what you show up for. It only comes through sacrificial action. You can't just think your way into an internal state. You can have moments of epiphany where you improve your level of thought, but that never comes from just being still and stagnant and not working on yourself every single day. And it's not enough to just work on yourself through doing these cute little habits, these self-improvement habits that you hear all on the internet that's supposed to change your life. It's not going to change your life unless you do it with intention, unless you do it with full conviction that it's the right thing to do in the current moment. Like, for example, ever since I got back from Thailand, I've been trying to rebuild this internal state that I lost because I fell off, because I started to, distract myself a lot more with vices, with addictions, with fucking breaking promises to myself, with not putting in the amount of effort that I knew I could. And ever since then, I've been trying to reclaim that state, and it's just felt like I've been doing all of these habits, and like, why? What's the point? It's felt a bit meaningless and purposeless. But that's because of the intention behind it. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. every single day, haven't missed once. Cold shower every single day, haven't missed once. Horse stance straight after, haven't missed once. And there have been periods where it just felt like, bro, why? What am I doing all this for? Like, it just feels so meaningless. But when I made a little switch, when I had an epiphany moment, I was like, fuck. I'm doing this because it's hard, because I don't want to do it, because every single time I end the process, I feel more rejuvenated, more energized. And when I actually approach it with a competitive mindset, where I'm standing in my horse stance and I'm visualizing my opponent and I'm thinking, fuck, I'm gonna outlast you, I'm gonna go through more pain than you, it changes everything. The internal state that happens through intentional sacrificial effort, man, it's everything. And that's exactly why I came out here, because I really didn't want to do it. And because I got sick of, waiting for the right perfect conditions to do something in. And to be honest, I'm having a much better time than I ever have on video. Not that I ever have, I'll say, that I have had in a long time, because there are no, weird intrusive thoughts in my head. There's no, restarting the video. This is all the first take, and it's been so long since I've had this freedom. And I freaking missed it, man. And I hope you did as well, because I feel like I'm way more valuable when I can just speak from the heart, not try to plan out anything in too great of a detail, and just pour out into you. So, bro, if you're looking for this internal state where everything feels like flow, where all of the hard shit feels purposeful, it doesn't come by accident. It comes through intentional cultivation. And you can only have these epiphany moments when you're actually going through the process, through the painful action. And it does feel bland. It does feel meaningless. It feels dull. But you keep showing up. You keep doing it, because throughout this whole process, you're looking for the epiphany moment. It only happens when you start searching for it. And then once that happens, you're off to the races. And after that, it's the compound effect. You can start stacking and just growing exponentially. But you have to keep to it, bro. You can't keep falling off track. You can't keep getting distracted, tripping over yourself. No, bro. It's gonna feel tough at times, of course. There is gonna be that friction, and if you show up anyway, it's gonna mean that when the time comes, when you do have this internal alignment and you show up and you actually want to be there, things are just gonna go much better for you. I've sort of lost the plot of what I'm trying to say here, but the thesis, the summary is that your internal state dictates everything, and you can only cultivate that through the effort of the actions that you don't want to take. Let's fucking get it, bro. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'm feeling alive. I hope you are as well. Remember, there's so much value inside your head. Who you are, it's just buried under misaligned internal state. I hope that meant something to you. I hope that made sense.